In today's video, I'd like to give you 10 specific strategies for addressing one of the biggest challenges that every new puppy owner must face, which is figuring out exactly how to deal with your dog's tendency to bite at things. If you've recently adopted a puppy, you might be feeling frustrated with managing their mouthing behavior. The first thing to understand about this issue is that nipping and interacting with objects using their mouths is a completely normal behavior for young dogs. Puppies are exploring their environment while simultaneously learning how to live in a new home with rules that can seem arbitrary in the mind of a dog. Puppies also go through the developmental phase of teething, so it feels good to bite and chew on things. And at the same time, puppy teeth are incredibly sharp and can do serious damage if this behavior is not properly managed. So it's very important to set aside time to work on this regularly with your dog. Because dogs are constantly learning from interactions with the world, make sure your dog is not rehearsing inappropriate behavior. If they have access to things they should not be chewing and they practice doing it, this will make the dog more likely to do it again in the future. The best way to stop a bad habit is to prevent it from becoming established in the first place. And one way you can do that is to remove those items that you don't want puppy to interact with when you are allowing them to have supervised time in your house, and to use a leash to ensure that your dog is not getting into trouble. Managing the puppy closely is important in the early stages and something you will be thankful for having done as the puppy gets older. Remember that puppies can also easily get overstimulated, which can make them more mouthy, so get to know your dog, and once they've had enough stimulation, be prepared to give them a break in their confinement space or in their crate if needed. Focus on what you want the dog to do. Instead of just trying to stop bad behaviors, focus instead on what you would like your dog to do instead. Provide different types of toys and encourage and praise your dog when they're playing with them. Be careful not to start playing with your dog only when they begin biting. This could teach the dog that this is how to initiate a game. Make sure that you're establishing a routine that is consistent so that the dog can start to predict when they're going to be active and when they need to relax and rest. You can also teach your dog a behavior like a chin rest so they can start to relate to your hands more calmly. If you'd like to learn how to do that, check out my video on that particular skill. Dogs can have different preferences. Some might like toys that are harder, others will chew on a soft rope or fleece toy. So try to provide a variety to see what your dog seems to like and offer that more as your dog needs it. Using puzzle toys and filling them with food can be an enriching activity that encourages more interaction with toys and provides some mental stimulation. Sometimes dogs will nip because they're bored, so this can help focus their attention on a task that keeps them occupied for some amount of time. A lack of adequate activity or interaction can also lead to mouthing. Make sure you're spending time training your puppy regularly at around the same times for a few minutes throughout the day and in short sessions. You can even plan your training around the time that the dog happens to get more mouthy. The more they learn how to interact and communicate with you in other ways, the less reliant they will be on using mouthing to get your attention and interest. Puppies that are very young cannot exercise for very long periods of time, but you can work on different exercises that involve movement to help expend some of that puppy energy. If your dog gets distracted and starts to nip at your hands or other objects, quickly redirect the dog to a more appropriate item and praise them for choosing to engage with it. This is something you will have to do over and over again in the beginning, so Make sure you have a variety of toys around when the puppy is out playing and exploring. Avoid telling the dog no or stop or getting upset and angry. This is not a concept puppies understand, so it's not an effective way to communicate with your dog, even if it seems like it's working. Remember that effective dog training is about building the dog's ability to make good choices. We have to teach dogs how to think, not imposing on them strict rules that are human-centered. Punishment can harm your relationship with your dog, and for some dogs it will cause them to shut down or even escalate the intensity of their behavior. So it's far better and more effective to redirect to something else and then offer praise for the acceptable behaviors you like. Make sure you are working on building a positive association to handling. Not all puppies enjoy being touched, and even if they do, there are benefits to working on this separately. Spend at least a few minutes each day calmly petting your dog and developing a positive association with your hands. For more on this, you can check out my video on essential puppy skills. Even if you are doing everything as best as you can, there will be times when the puppy will start to bite at your hands. For these situations, I suggest being prepared and teaching a specific cue that tells the dog to immediately back off your hands. Think of this as a backup plan if you need something more urgently. Here's how you can teach this.
Off. Good. Off. Good. Off. Good. Off. Good. Off. Good. Off. Good.
This is one of the most important strategies that can be useful to curb a number of different problematic behaviors in dogs. Over the course of time, behaviors develop histories, and if you are not developing enough of a positive reinforcement history with calm and relaxed behaviors, the puppy can start to exhibit overexcitement because it becomes a source of reinforcement. Be on the lookout for good behaviors that your dog naturally does and have a strategy in place to reinforce them. I have a separate video with some tips on this specific strategy. All dogs are unique in some ways and often have their own triggers. My dog Star was very interested in biting at my pant legs and her leash, which made it difficult to take her outside or have her walk on a leash so she wouldn't attack it. So we spent a few days working specifically on her trigger, which helped teach her not to engage in those behaviors. Here is how we worked on it. Help the dog understand that teeth on skin does not ever earn reinforcement. Set aside some of your puppy's meal for this and work on having them relax and calmly take treats from your hand. You can either put it flat on your hand and have them eat it off the surface of your palm, or you can have them lick it out of a pocket in your hand. So experiment with what works well for you. I hope this video gives you some ideas for how you can start to address your puppy's biting. If you learned something useful, check out some of our other tutorials on other dog training topics, and please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel because it helps more people discover the content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.